him and I'm at it again. The crystal air calling my name. Down a gravel road, box full of fur, and a mystery in the next steel blur. Catching the first made me a believer. A whole lot of coons, yoties, and beaver.
What a day, guys. What a season. All right, guys. Welcome to season 3 of Iowa Trapper. It's gonna be a good year. Got some big plans. We're gonna open up this year. September 13th. We've been doing some trap prep, but we're gonna start our season off with that. You know, I always talk about doing your homework. That's scouting. That's getting your equipment ready to go, and that's what we're gonna start with today. So it's gonna be a fun season, guys. We'll get right to it. All right, guys. So we got kind of what I would call my 3 setups when I'm sorting through traps. We got this trap here. You know, it's got some rust on it. These are all traps also that I just bought. Kind of inherited from a buddy of mine who was leaving the state. But, you know, it's rusty. It needs some work, but it's not dirty. So I'll have a bin for these traps that they're ready to die. They're ready to die. I will tag all my traps right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm going through all my traps. You know, we've got well, that's not even a bin, just a pile. This bucket here is ready to go. This one over here needs power washed, but I'm putting all my traps on, checking all my traps right now, and then dividing these things up into these 3 piles. You know, so we got the group that needs just died. That's all we need. We got the ones that are ready to go. You know, they're clean. A lot of the Dukes still have their powder coating on them. And then our third one is, you know, we need to wash these. You know, what I'll do is I'll soak these in a 55-gallon barrel for a day at the most. Soak them for a day. Then I'll just take my regular hose and just a regular nozzle. Don't even really have to pressure wash them once they've soaked. It'll really get in here and break all this stuff down. And for dye, that's what I'm wanting. I want it to hold on these springs. But how I'm doing my tags, if you guys can tell, I roll them tight around a loop. You know, this one here is tag I'm taking off from someone I got this trap from. It works, but I had a lot of raccoons chew my trap tags off doing that. And if you only have 1 trap tag on there, then guess what? That trap is now illegal in Iowa. So I started double tagging and tight rolling. You know, tags aren't that expensive, so I figure that's my best route. I want to stay legal no matter what, but that's it right for now for this part. Just kind of sorting through these, making piles, and that's my first step. So we'll check out the 220s here and go from there. Now, as far as the 220s go, there's just going to be 1 pile at the end of this. You know, I'm basically coming down here, I'm checking my tags, going through, making sure the trap, the triggers in the position I like, kind of that, I call it kind of the roof, the house shape. Just kind of angle down and then straight vertical. You know, make sure everything's moving on them. I'll go ahead and compress my springs now. You know, everyone says don't leave them compressed over the summer, it weakens them. I've done that to several on accident, not intentionally. And it might weaken them a little bit, but I've never had any major issues. But I just try to make a point, because it doesn't take that much time to go ahead and set them all off, you know, at the end of season. But we're only 40 some days from pre-staking, so I'll go ahead and compress these now. Just makes everything on opening day that much easier. But yeah, just going through and double checking. You know, I always do double tags, like I said, making sure everything's moving freely. And then we're gonna stack these in buckets, and they're ready for dye. And once they're dyed, we're gonna set these outside for. They'll stay outside till pre-staking. I'll set them in the shade off to the side of the shop, get any foreign odors off them, and just wait it out. Now, I know I'm not known as a water trapper. Hopefully we're going to be getting into the water a little bit this year, assuming I can actually find any. But on all my 1.5s, you know, same kind of concept. I'm going to check my tags. Hopefully some of these will probably need washed yet, but not many. But I always go ahead and set these traps before I actually, you know, when I'm at this point. Because several times, you know, this where the dog attachments will be bent one way or another. The trap may look good just sitting there, but until you actually set it, you realize it and the next thing you know, you can't fire the trap. But I always go ahead and do that. Go ahead and get it set. I like my pan, completely floppy. That way I am able to hopefully pick up some mink this year. You know, I'm not a huge water trapper, guys, and we don't have any water, but I'm gonna definitely make it a point to get into there this year. Hopefully pick up a few mink and muskrats on the few creek and river systems that we actually do have that are producing. But yeah, that's my 3 traps, guys. You know, the dog proof 220 and a few footholds. We're gonna be making snares here pretty soon, and I'll get a video just of that. But this is the first step in our trap prep. Pretty soon, you know, the next step is gonna be to hose everything off, clean them all up, and then we're dipping and we're ready to go. I figured I'd chime in here and show you how I'm tight rolling these traps. So I'm taking my tag and I'll bend it around one link. Then I'll fold it up like so. Then I'm grabbing my needle nose pliers, and all I'm doing is twisting it and bending down. And I'll just sit there and I'll hold my thumb like this and just keep twisting it with the pliers until it's wrapped up tight, and we're good to go. So those of you that have seen watched my channel in the years past, you notice that's my trigger configuration on 220s. I've actually gotten to putting the trigger on the bottom side most of the time. That way this looks like grass or sticks coming up. But the reason I like this, I believe most of your animals are looking at this and they think they can squeeze right between in the middle. And most animals get their head right through, and it's their shoulders that hit the trigger, which gives me that perfect catch right on the back of the head, on the neck, on my raccoons. I mean, whether it actually does or not, you know, it's a personal preference, guys. I found best results with this, but if you have smaller or bigger coon, you might want to change up your ways of doing it. All right, we got everything sorted out. The traps are ready to go. We got the traps that need dyed, and then we got the traps that need cleaned up and washed up well. We're starting to soak them now. I got these 3 totes is what we ended up needing washed, which is gonna take me a little bit, but we're gonna let them soak overnight, just filling the buckets up. I don't want to let them set too long. I mean, they've already got a nice coat of rust on them. Just enough that I'm gonna basically loosen all this gunk up in between the springs and stuff, get that loosened up so I can just take the actual nozzle on the hose, and we'll be able to it'll just blow right out. So that's where we're at right now, guys. Did a little scouting the other day, and things are looking good, but right now we gotta get traps ready. We'll be dyeing traps here real quick, like, so that's the next phase, guys. All right, guys, welcome to dye day, and meet Frankenstein. This is a system that I kind of made here a while ago for letting everything hang and dry. We got some angle braces, you know, keep it from going from side to side. But we just got hooks all the way through this. I can't think what the number is now, but I hang dog proof 6 at a time. 220s is going to be 3 at a time, but we've got, yeah, I can hang, I don't know, 25 or 30 dozen traps on this thing. But anyway, we're gonna get stuff mixed up and get this thing loaded up with traps. Who needs a screwdriver when you got a dog proof? I like that brown Formula 1. Seems to be what works the best for me. And the brown, you know, everyone wants, you know, oh, that white will stick out. Yeah, it'll stick out, but for me it'll also stick out to the thieves too. So I'm gonna go ahead and take both of these and get them dumped into my bucket. It kind of looks like a floundered cow in here. But I'm not done with these buckets yet either. So the directions say 2-part Formula 1, or 1 part Formula 1, 2 parts water. I like to go at least 3, and I will take water and I will fill up the can again, get all that extra dye out of there, because it, you know, it sticks to the sides pretty good. and the bottom. Then I'll just take it and dump it in my bucket, Dixie it back. So by adding this to our concoction, we're going to be at 1 part. I'll give it a good spray to break that stuff up on the bottom and on the sides again. This is not something you want to wear clean clothes doing, guys. So now we're close to our 2 part. Get these filled up again, and here's going to be our 3. And I'll probably go ahead and do 1 more. So it'll be kind of a 3.5 to 1. I personally would rather, yeah, there's a lot of foam in these. I personally would rather dip them twice than have it gunked on there. Just kind of my opinion. You can see, you know, we pretty well cleaned out that can pretty good. So there's our 3 to 1. We'll go ahead and do 1 more of these. I'll do half of each because there's still a lot of dye in this one. And this will get us to about 3.5 to 1, which is where I like to be personally. A lot of foam, but we'll dump that in our bucket and we'll get started. Now we got our bucket mixed up or put together. I will take a 2x4 and I'm going to stir it. That stuff does like to settle out. We probably won't get done dyeing today, so even tomorrow I'm going to have to, you know, we're going to have to stir it back up. But that stuff likes to sit on the bottom. We want to make sure it's all stirred up, just like it was sitting in the cans and I had to wash it out of there. Same concept here, guys. But got our bucket a dip ready. You guys notice I'm using a big mineral tub for this. The reason being, just a 5-gallon bucket, stuff's not going to hold enough dip. At the same time, I can't get multiple 220s in there. Trying to get you know, three 220s in a bucket isn't going to work, and doing them one at a time is going to take forever. So I mean, we got quite a few 220s, and that's what we're going to start with today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 of these, and I bought little zip ties. I'm going to zip tie 3 of them together, go dip them and hang them right above the bucket, and by the time I come back and get 3 more rounded up, most of that dip should have dropped off into the bucket. This dip's pricey, so I want as much drip to come back into the bucket versus just laying it on the ground. I mean, I used black a couple years ago and you can still see the black all over the rocks down here. Wife wasn't thrilled, but she loves me anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting that going, and it's gonna take a while, fellas. Man, it's hot out. You can see I got 3 of them. I got a little zip tie here. I definitely learned not to pull them tight because it's not gonna hang on the nail. But you can see where my tags are. My tags are right up here by the top. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna put these in, fully submerge them, even if I have to move them around a little bit. There we go. And I will dip them all the way to that trap tag. I really don't want dip on that tag. So then I'll simply pull them out. We're gonna take that zip tie and hang them right there and go get the next bundle ready. By the time that's you know, done dripping, which, you know, now I'm realizing that some of the spring's still in it, we might have to get creative here. There we go. By the time that's done dripping, I should have the next batch ready to go. So time to power through these guys. It's gonna take a little bit. All right, so just finished up all the conibears. As you can tell, our shadow out here is a lot longer. This took a little bit to do, but these are some of the wet ones. But as you guys can see it, I mean, all I'm looking for is to get kind of that brownish tint. Some of these, such as this right here, these were already dyed really well. Really didn't need it, but I just went ahead and did everything while I was here. We're probably gonna go ahead and do a second coat. It just makes me feel better. Like this one here was a really rusty one. It could use a second coat. It's still a little damp there too, but maybe later tonight we'll come out here and do a second coat. But you know, this isn't, I don't know, in my opinion, it's not rocket science. I do this cold dip. You know, a lot of people like the wax and dye, walnut holes, logwood, and that's great. Go with it. It probably works better than this, to be honest with you. Just for time though, I like doing this. It's quick. I dip them, pull them out, they're ready to go. Like I said, I'll do another dip, but looks like 220s are gonna be ready to go by tomorrow. Next step is I'll put them all in cat litter buckets that have holes drilled in the bottom of them, and I'll set them out here next to my shop or out in the ditch and just kind of let them get scent free over the next couple weeks. Since I'll be pre-staking them and everything, you know, sitting out along the road ditches 2 weeks ahead of time, they'll air out really well anyway. But just trying to keep foreign odors off them. That's the only trap that I really care about odor on my line at all. So I guess other than snares. But anyway, guys, we're gonna get these guys taken care of. And so when it comes to the dog proofs, same concept, guys. What I'm really focusing is these springs. I want those to be covered up. We'll dip them to about where the trap tags are, make sure they get a good coat on them, and then we're just hanging them. That's all we're doing, guys. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Like I said, I just want to cover those springs. Pretty much everything we do, we'll shine up these traps once we start making catches. But and I use wire to hang them because I'm doing 6 at a time. But really, like I said, just get those springs covered. That's the important thing. But we're gonna get going. We got all the 220s done, like I said, and we're trying to get some dog proofs done tonight. Probably not all of them, but that lazy thing should at least help. So I've started giving everything a second coat. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this, but this is with 1 coat. Still see some metal here and there. This group I've done a second coat on. You know, the springs are pretty well covered. Not much actual shininess or anything like that. Plus it feels thicker. You can, you know, you get a good dye on them and you can almost feel it on there with this water-based dye. You know, again, these will go another time. We're gonna do them all a second time, but not sure how well you actually be able to see that. But you know, 1 coat versus 2 coat, definitely a difference for sure. So we'll be doing a second coat. Not a problem, just they're already zip tied together, ready to go. All right, guys, we've been dyeing for a while now. Just kind of showing you what my dog proofs look like. This is after 2 coats. This is all going to get shined up. It will as soon as you catch a raccoon. What I want to show you is these springs. These are what matter to me. That's what I want to keep really coated on. This stuff really sticks to them, and that's what really helps preserve the life of these. You know, the cone itself is going to get shined up, going to get rusty. That doesn't matter too much to me. The springs themselves are what I'm really focusing on. But yeah, that's the whole purpose for me to even dye these things. Just keep those springs strong, keep them from pitting out and moving forward. So still got a lot of dog proof traps to do. Just got the family to bed here a little bit ago. It's about 10:15. Got a lot more dog proofs to do and then a few footholds yet. So gonna be a long night, fellas.